whatever journey pregnancy was for you guys, postpartum is something else entirely. You've got leaky boobs, a floppy belly, nappies. For us, not the baby. Lack of sleep, under eye bags, bleeding. You can be sore from the birth, whether you had a natural vaginal birth or a C-section. Navigating this new season of your life with a whole brand new human that you have to look after whilst also getting used to this new body that's pretty darn different to how you remember it can be so daunting. Without even going into the mental aspects of postpartum, and guys, that was an absolute shit show for me. If you watch my vlogs from kind of this time last year, you'll know what I'm talking about. Postpartum anxiety and depression is a bitch. The physical aspects of postpartum can be seriously challenging. Now, I had an emergency C-section, and I'm pretty sure it's not just me, but when I looked in the mirror the first time and the bandage over the scar had been taken off, first of all, I didn't even want to look because I was so scared for what I was going to see. Then when I did look, I immediately burst into tears. I was so horrified because the scar, like, oh my gosh, guys, it looked so big. I was like, I cannot believe I'm alive when I've been sliced open, like, ooh. My body was so different to how I remembered it before getting pregnant. I was like, who is this person? It does not make it any easier when you then go online and you see these like celebrities and like Instagram models and influencers that pop a baby out one day and the next day their stomach is like super flat, and it's like, was there a baby in there? And their hair is washed and they've got makeup on and they're wearing clothes and they look like they've got it all together, and it's like, how do you look like that when I look like this? And yet we apparently both had babies like yesterday. But as you're going to see in this video, I'm going to give you examples, pictures, whatever person you're comparing your postpartum body to, thinking that they have just like snapped back into shape whilst you're over here looking the way you do, it's not actually real life. Now, a quick shout out to this video's sponsor. Ta-da! Why are my ears always so red when I film? I swear in like normal life my ears aren't this red. So the sponsors of this video is one of my favorite jewelry brands ever, Ana Luisa. I'm constantly raving about their jewelry and I'm always getting asked about my earrings. So I'm just going to quickly tell you, this earring here, my, what do you call that? That earring and this huggy at the top, these are both from Maria Tash, and guys, they cost almost as much as my house deposit. Like, they were so expensive. I actually don't know what I was thinking. And then this huggy here and this earring, these are both from Ana Luisa. I'm gonna get up close and show you guys. Like I said, I spent a fortune on this huggy from Maria Tash, but if you compare that to my Ana Luisa huggy, like, you cannot tell the difference. Like, they are so similar. And yeah, my Ana Luisa huggy was like literally a fifth of the price. Also wearing my gold chain, which is also from Ana Luisa. There's a few reasons that Ana Luisa is one of my favorite jewelry brands. The first one is that they are sustainable. It's very rare that you come across a sustainable jewelry brand that actually have nice, classy, classic jewelry. The majority of the metals that Ana Luisa use in the making of their jewels come from recycled materials wherever possible. They also create their jewelry in small batches, so none of this is like mass produced or mass made. These are all handmade in small batches, so if you do like a design that Ana Luisa have, you kind of want to get that before it sells out because they don't make a lot of the same design. They don't do it this way to create hype or anything like that. They create their jewelry in small batches to ensure that they've got the highest production standards and to eliminate waste. I've been in love with Ana Luisa for a while now, and I'm kind of gradually adding to my collection of their pieces because I just feel like they are so classic. Like, they're never going to go out of fashion, and they're good to the earth too, so you can feel good about your purchases when you are purchasing from Ana Luisa. Ana Luisa are also currently running an exclusive Black Friday sale, which doesn't come around very often, so I'll put the link in the description box down below. You can click that and go check out their pieces. Now guys, if you're wondering why my hands are purple, just before we get into the video, because I know you've probably just been watching this like, yeah, that's beautiful jewelry, but what the is wrong with your hands? I was making elderberry syrup last night, and if you have ever tried to make elderberry syrup before, you will know that it stains everything. Now, as we were talking about in my pregnancy video that I put up last week, there is an insane amount of pressure on women when it comes to their bodies. You're not off the hook when you're pregnant, and you're certainly not off the hook when you've given birth. Women are expected to just bounce back like nothing ever happened. Now, at the end of the video, I'm going to show you guys exactly what my postpartum body looks like, and I am 1 year postpartum. I don't even know if that's considered postpartum anymore, but my body is definitely not the same as before I got pregnant. My belly still jiggles when I walk, and I still have like a pouch, you know, like this weird overhang above my C-section, and it still feels like numb and weird sometimes, which is like a really unsettling feeling. I am still breastfeeding my son, so my boobs are a lot bigger than the boobs that I'm used to having. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, at the start of my postpartum journey, when I looked at myself in the mirror, I was like pretty unconfident with the body that I saw in the mirror in front of me. I was wearing high-waisted nappies to catch the postpartum bleeding. I had to wear these like compression C-section socks. Boobs were leaking everywhere. I was like, oh my god, I'm disgusting. And what's sad about that is that I'm pretty certain I'm not the only woman that has felt that way after having their baby. To put it simply, this is certainly not the body that I've been used to having my entire adult life. But now I'm pleased to say that I'm okay with that. My body literally grew a brand new human being. Like, I don't even know how I did that, and yet I did that. And not only did I grow that human, but then I managed to get him out of my body with a little bit of help at the sunroof. Then I fed that human with my own boobs, and he's gorgeous and he's the love of my life. Us women don't give ourselves enough credit. Like, we are magical beings. How can we realistically expect our bodies to create, grow, and then birth a brand new human being, and then once we've accomplished that, expect our bodies to look like it never happened? Now, your body may simply just pop back into shape, and you may look like you never were pregnant in the first place, and you may not, and either of those scenarios is okay. What we as women need to start realizing is that postpartum bodies, whatever shape or size or weight they may be, are all equally beautiful. Like, look at what you have achieved. I don't know how to make a human being. Like, I barely know how to fry an egg, and yet I made the most gorgeous human being I've ever met. I'm sure you don't know how to make a human being either. Like, the top scientists in the world don't know how to make a human being from scratch, and yet you did that. So if your body then looks like it created a whole new human being, girl, your body may never look the way it did pre-pregnancy, but then, like, why should it? Because the media tells us so? Them. Now, I know this is all easier said than done, and I know, speaking from first-hand experience, when you're already kind of feeling vulnerable and you're already feeling a little bit uncertain in this like strange new postpartum body, to then go on social media and see, like I said, these other women that look so well put together, and these other women that just like bounce back into shape, like they look like they never had a baby, they look like they were never pregnant, they don't have stretch marks, they don't have the jiggly belly, if they've had a C-section they don't have that weird little pouch, and it's like, how did you guys escape all that, and yet here's me looking like this? So I wanted to give you guys a little dose of reality. I put my little detective hat on and I went delving into the realms of social media and social media mums and social media postpartum bodies, and I wanted to give you guys a little dose of reality and a little peek behind the curtains. Okay, now let's take Tammy Hembro for example. I feel like I'm always using Tammy as an example. Tammy is actually a massive influencer. Like, how many followers does she have? Oh my god, guys, she has 11.8 million followers. That's a lot of people. So Tammy is obviously a massive influencer, and Tammy's got two gorgeous babies. Well, they're children now, but they were babies. Now, Tammy gained a lot of fame for the way she kind of just bounced back after having her babies. Like, she went from being pregnant to the next day having this like super flat stomach, like flatter than my stomach ever was, ever before I even got pregnant. And she would post pictures like this, like two side-by-side images on her Instagram, one of her pregnant and then one of her holding her tiny little newborn baby with her super flat, like washboard abs. And if you flick through the comments, people are like, how did you do it? And then there's this side-by-side picture where again, she was like super pregnant and then the flattest stomach you could ever imagine in your life. And I think that was her 2 months postpartum. Guys, when I was 2 months postpartum, I was still trying to relearn how to stand up straight, because every time I stood up, it felt like my C-section scar was going to like rip. Oh my god, it was the most disgusting feeling. Now, the difference between me and Tammy, because I know Tammy did have 2 C-sections, the difference between me and Tammy and why I can't possibly compare myself to her is that she is a fitness influencer. Like, she is so into her fitness. She's muscly. She had abs before she ever got pregnant. I didn't. But Tammy also is into exercise and weightlifting and cardio, and I'm not. So I can't possibly compare my body and my postpartum journey accurately to Tammy's, because we have completely different lifestyles. And if you're watching this, or if you follow Tammy and you find yourself comparing your postpartum body to Tammy's and wondering why you didn't just snap back like Tammy did, I think unless you have her genes and live her lifestyle and you're like, you know, super into fitness, because she's made no secret of the fact that she works out a lot. So we can't possibly compare our bodies to Tammy's. Now, I can see that, you know, posting images like this where her stomach is so flat right after giving birth would give other women who don't look like that a complex. However, in saying that, to Tammy's credit, she did also post this video to her social media where she totally shows off her loose skin on her stomach. And as you can see, she still has her abs, and why shouldn't she? She works bloody hard for them. But as you can see, and she's making it very clear that she also has, you know, the loose stretched skin on her stomach. I have that after having my baby. I'm sure a lot of you guys do as well. But from looking at Tammy's pictures, you would never know that she has, you know, the loose stretched belly skin. But as you can see from the video, she does. Like I say in all these videos, guys, pictures can be so deceiving. Like, you can pose in the most flattering way to make yourself look totally different. Like, different lighting makes a massive difference. then some people edit their pictures as well. I'm not saying Tammy does. I don't think she personally does. And then you've got an influencer called Hannah Polites. Is that how you pronounce her name? From a lot of her Instagram pictures, it would look like she also just, you know, gave birth and the next day she had a flat stomach again. But if you look at this picture that she posted to her Instagram, and like, round of applause to Hannah for posting this because it would have taken some guts, she shows that like, even though she had her baby, she still kind of looks a little bit pregnant. I mean, I know I certainly did. And it's completely normal. Like, just because you give birth to your baby and your baby's out and the placenta's out, but you still have like a lot of water weight, your uterus has still stretched out so much from carrying your baby that it needs time to actually kind of like shrink back into its regular shape. And then you've got the abdominal separation, the extra weight that you've probably gained during pregnancy, which you have to gain during pregnancy to support a healthy pregnancy. So it's so ridiculous, the notion that women should pop out their baby and then their stomach just immediately just go shrink straight back in. Like, it doesn't work like that. Now, whilst social media and influencers can make it look like bouncing back is like the norm, and that if you don't immediately bounce back into shape, like there's something wrong with you, what I'm really liking is that now it seems like posting realistic postpartum bodies is becoming cool, and it's actually such a positive thing because we need to see and we need to normalize real postpartum bodies. You've got this picture that Peter Murgatroyd posted. She's 8 days postpartum and she feels like she looks 5 months pregnant. Then you've got this picture that Cardi B posted, and if you zoom in you can see that she's still got the linea negra, is that what it's called? You know, that kind of like line that goes down your belly button when you're pregnant? I had that. And this picture that Ashley Graham posted of her absolutely beautiful, I think they're so cool, her stretch marks, like they look like flames coming up from her belly. I really think stretch marks are cool. Then you've got these pictures from why can't I pronounce names? Iskra Lawrence. On the right, she's 9 months pregnant, and on the left, she is 2 weeks postpartum. As you can see, she's wearing the high-waisted undies. I loved those things. They were so comfortable. Like, I'm still wearing my granny panties, and I am a year postpartum. And then there's this picture that Kate Hudson posted. She doesn't have, you know, the perfect, like, cinched-in little photoshopped waist or anything like that. She's got a more natural-looking postpartum belly. I love this one from Katy Perry. She posted this to her stories. And that just like, that brings back so many memories in my head. Like, I remember being sat there in my like compression stockings, like with a breast pump attached to my boobs, my granny knickers on, probably still wearing a nappy, trying to catch all the postpartum blood loss. Like, social media makes it look like postpartum is glamorous. There's nothing glamorous about postpartum. So I am absolutely loving that celebrities and influencers are posting these more realistic images, and I wish, looking back, that I would have posted more realistic images than what I did. And then there's this picture that Sadia Slay posted, and so much respect to her because that would have taken some guts to post. As you can see in her picture, she's got that same kind of like, you know, stretched belly skin, and so many of us have that. I have that. Like I said, Tammy Hembro has that. Like, you wouldn't know from the pictures that I post or that Tammy posts, but it is the reality for so many women. Society has done so well at making us believe that anything bar the perfect washboard abs and flat stomach is hideous. Stretch marks are hideous. Loose skin is hideous. Extra weight is hideous. And yet in reality, there's nothing gross about any of that. So this is what my belly looks like when I'm not sucking in. This is a year postpartum. And to be honest with you guys, this is kind of what my belly looked like when I was like 4 or 5 months pregnant. So to be completely honest with you guys, it hasn't changed all that much. My waist and my stomach definitely doesn't look the same as it did before I became pregnant. So this is what my stomach looks like when I'm fully relaxed, like I'm not sucking in. This is just how I like to live my life comfortably. And down here I still do have like a C-section pooch, which I'm not going to show you guys because that is way too revealing. Now this is me sucking in, and like I said, I do have like a little bit of just like, you know, loose kind of stretched extra skin here that I never had before. Like, I never used to be able to do this with my belly button. Now I can. Like I said, my boobs are saggier, my ass is saggier. I've got stretch marks where I never had stretch marks before. Let's be completely real here, guys. You may be finding it difficult to love this new postpartum body, and that's okay too. Like your pregnancy body, navigating your new postpartum body is a journey, and it's up to us how we choose to think about it. We could choose to believe social media and the magazines when they tell us that everybody except us just pops back into shape. Or we could realize that that's all an illusion and give our bodies the patience and love and time it deserves as it goes through this process of healing. These celebrities and influencers and Instagram models that you can find yourself comparing your own postpartum body to, remember that as I've showed you in this video, they also have stretch marks. They they also have loose skin. They also didn't just snap back into shape like the media would have you believe. We as women need to make it abundantly clear to anybody who's watching that we are not going to be made to feel ashamed of our postpartum bodies. We are not going to give into this pressure that you're putting on us to snap back into shape. We may not want to look like we never had a baby. We are still beautiful if our bellies have the nerve to look like they had a baby. Mamas, you have achieved magic with your bodies. Ignore what these outside voices are saying. You don't have to look the way you did before having your baby. Your after baby body is just as beautiful as your pre-baby body. Instead of bashing our bodies and feeling ashamed for the way they look, let's give our bodies praise and love because our bodies are so infinitely wise. Like, look at what they have achieved. And in this period of loving on your new baby, don't forget to love on yourself as well. And on that note, my dears, I'm going to leave this video here because I know I've just been rambling for way too long. You're probably all asleep. I absolutely love your guts. I hope you have the most amazing week and I will see you in my next video.